Libra, in the silence of eternity, before your family ever came together, a decision was made. A council in heaven leaned forward, and your name was spoken into the light. Not your brothers, not your sisters. Yours. The moment was not loud, it was sacred. And though the world has tried to make you question it, though your siblings may have never understood it, the choice has remained sealed. God's hand rested on you. This is why in your home, you have always felt like the different one. Not better, different. The one who carried questions no one else asked. The one whose heart broke in silence while others laughed without care. The one who felt unseen, yet carried a fire that could not be hidden. Do you understand what this means, Libra? Heaven wrote your story in a way that made you the torchbearer, the vessel, the bridge. That is why God chose you, not because your siblings were less, but because your role required more. And before we begin, I want you to speak it into the atmosphere. Type it in the comments right now. I am chosen. Let the heavens echo it back to you. Stay with me, Libra. What you are about to hear may finally answer the question you've carried in your soul. Why me, God? Why was I chosen? Libra, from the very beginning, you were never like the rest. Even before your first words, there was something about your spirit that made you stand out. You carried a silence that spoke louder than voices, a sensitivity that felt the unseen currents of life, and a wisdom that was older than your years. As a child, while others laughed freely without a care in the world, you paused to observe. You noticed things most ignored. You asked questions that had no easy answers. When others ran and played without thought, you often felt the invisible weight of something bigger pressing on your heart. It was as though you were born looking through a deeper window into life. That difference was never a curse. It was a seed planted in you. Heaven's seed, chosen carefully and placed within your soul. God gave your siblings what they needed for their journey. But you were given something they did not require, because your assignment was not theirs. Your path was always going to be different. And that difference had to be seen from the very start. Think of Joseph in the scriptures. He was one among many brothers, but his spirit was marked with dreams too big for the small walls he grew up in. His brothers laughed, mocked, and even despised him for the very gift that made him unique. But what looked like rejection was actually confirmation. He was chosen for a destiny greater than the space he was in. So it is with you, Libra. The reason you sometimes felt misunderstood in your own home, the reason you sensed things others did not notice, was because you were carrying heaven's imprint. God marked you with difference, not to isolate you, but to prepare you. That difference you carry is not a burden, it is your sign. It is the proof that heaven singled you out, the evidence that destiny looked into your family and said, "This one will walk a road unlike the rest." Libra, have you noticed how, in moments of trouble, the eyes of others somehow turn toward you, even when you never asked for that role? In the quiet of family struggles, when confusion enters the room, or when storms rise unexpectedly, you often become the one everyone leans on. Not because you spoke the loudest, not because you demanded to be seen, but because your spirit carries a weight that others instinctively trust. You are the silent pillar, the one who holds the roof when it feels like it is collapsing, the one who gives calm words when panic fills the air, the one who carries strength not by shouting, but by standing firm when everyone else trembles. And yet, this position has not always been easy for you. You have known what it feels like to go to bed drained, carrying not only your own worries, but also the hidden burdens of those around you. You have felt invisible at times, offering your strength while receiving little acknowledgement. There were days you longed for someone to notice your quiet sacrifices, but the world moved on, unaware of what you carried in silence. But Libra, hear this. Heaven does not miss what earth overlooks. God did not place this responsibility on you as punishment, but as recognition of your heart. He knew your siblings would have their own paths, their own roles. But he looked at you and saw a spirit willing to bear what others could not endure. He saw in you a vessel that could carry the load of many without breaking. This is why you have often been chosen to step into situations others avoided. Why peace follows when you arrive. Why solutions are found when your mind begins to think clearly in the middle of confusion. It is because heaven trusted you with the gift of responsibility, a gift that does not shine like gold, but sustains like rock. So, when you feel unappreciated, when you feel unseen, remind yourself, heaven has kept record of every tear you held back, every night you stayed awake for the sake of another, every sacrifice you made without applause. The eyes of God never looked away from those moments. Libra, you are chosen because you are dependable in the silence. And though the world may not always thank you, heaven crowns you with honor. Libra, one of the heaviest prices of being chosen is the envy it awakens in others. When the hand of God rests upon you, when favor seems to find you in ways that cannot be explained, it stirs something in the hearts of those around you, especially those closest to you. Sometimes, even within your own family, questions rise. Why you? Why does opportunity bend in your direction? Why does light seem to follow you when they walk the same road? This is not because you are better, nor because you are loved more. It is because your assignment is different. Yet difference is often misunderstood, and what people do not understand, they sometimes resist. Think of David standing with his brothers as the prophet poured oil on his head. His siblings were not rejected, but David was chosen for a role they were not meant to carry. His anointing did not erase their worth, it only revealed his calling. Still, jealousy rose. Still, misunderstanding grew. So it is with you, Libra. The glow you carry, the calm in your spirit, the grace in your steps, these are not things you built by your own strength. They are the marks of heaven's choice. And because they cannot be imitated, they sometimes draw out the envy of those who try to compare. You may have felt this tension in your own home, in your friendships, or even among your siblings. The quiet distance, the unspoken words, the subtle competition. It is not always because they dislike you. It is because they do not yet understand that your journey was never about rivalry. It was about responsibility. Envy, Libra, is nothing more than the shadow cast by your light. Where there is brightness, shadows will always gather. But remember, shadows cannot exist without the presence of light. Their envy is only proof of the divine glow resting upon you. Do not let it harden your heart. Do not let it steal your peace. Instead, let it remind you of the truth. You were set apart not to compete with your siblings, but to complete something they were never meant to carry. Libra, to be chosen is to be called apart. And because of that, there have been seasons in your life where you felt the sting of being alone. Times when friends drifted away without reason. Times when family bonds felt strained, leaving you wondering if you truly belonged. You have sat in silence asking the question, why me, God? Why this path? Why this distance? This feeling of isolation has not been easy. It pressed against your heart. It made you question your worth. It even tempted you to believe that maybe you were forgotten, overlooked, or unwanted. But the truth is far different, Libra. That loneliness was not the absence of God, it was the presence of His training. God hides what He values. Just as precious diamonds are formed deep in the darkness of the earth, far away from sight, so too have you been shaped in places where no one could see. The pressure you felt, the silence you endured, the distance you carried, those were not signs of abandonment. They were signs that heaven was working on you in secret. Look at how destiny unfolds. Before great callings are revealed, there is always a wilderness. Moses spent years hidden in Midian. David tended sheep in lonely fields long before the crown touched his head. Even Christ himself walked into the wilderness before stepping into his mission. Their isolation was not punishment, it was preparation. And so it has been with you, Libra. While your siblings may have walked paths that looked easier or more connected, you were pulled aside for shaping. The journey was different for you because your assignment was heavier. God needed to strip away distractions, to strengthen your spirit, to teach you how to stand when no one else stands with you. This separation has been a refining fire. It has taught you resilience. It has built your faith. It has made you stronger in the silence than many are in the crowd. That is why you carry a depth in your spirit that others cannot explain. So do not see your isolation as rejection. Do not call it punishment. See it for what it truly is: preparation. Heaven pulled you aside not to harm you, but to shape you into the vessel that could carry the assignment no one else could bear. Libra, one of the greatest reasons God chose you is because you carry a gift that is rare and sacred: the gift of balance. While many people in life swing from one extreme to another, you carry within you the quiet ability to weigh matters carefully, to pause before acting, and to seek what is just and fair. This gift has always lived inside you, even when you were too young to name it. From the very beginning, you may have noticed how you were the one to bring calm when arguments rose. While others fought to be right, you tried to see both sides. Where there was misunderstanding, you looked for a middle ground. Where emotions boiled over, you carried compassion. It was not because you wanted to please everyone. It was because heaven placed harmony in your spirit. Your siblings may have been given their own unique talents, but yours is a mantle that carries weight far beyond yourself. Balance is not just a personality trait, it is a divine calling. It means that in situations where chaos could easily reign, you are trusted to keep the peace. When emotions cloud judgment, you are trusted to bring clarity. When injustice threatens, you are trusted to stand for truth. This gift is not only for your own life. It is for your family, for your relationships, and even for the world around you. There are moments when your voice, though soft, carries more weight than the loudest shouts. There are moments when your quiet decision changes the direction of an entire household. That is how powerful the gift of balance truly is. And yet, balance is not an easy gift to carry. It means you often feel the pull of both sides. You carry the tension of holding peace while others give in to anger. You feel the weight of carrying justice when others prefer convenience. But God chose you precisely because you could handle this sacred responsibility. He saw that your heart could hold compassion without losing truth, and truth without losing compassion. Libra, heaven trusts you to be the keeper of peace. Where division tries to destroy, you are the bridge. Where storms threaten to break apart relationships, you are the calm that steadies the ship. This is why you were chosen, not to live without struggle, but to stand as a living reminder that balance is possible, that harmony can exist, that justice can be carried in love. Libra, have you ever wondered why, out of all your siblings, the heaviest battles seem to fall on your shoulders? Why the unspoken wounds of your family echo louder in your spirit than in anyone else's? It is not because life is unfair to you. It is because heaven gave you an assignment that is greater than yourself. You were chosen to be the breaker of cycles. Every family carries patterns. Some patterns are blessings, but others are burdens. Silent battles, hidden struggles, unspoken pain passed down from one generation to the next. While your siblings may walk freely without feeling the full weight of these chains, you are the one who carries the responsibility to face them, confront them, and end them. God placed you in this bloodline not just to survive, but to shift it. You were not sent here only to live your own story. You were sent to heal the broken chapters of those who came before you. Your journey has been harder because your calling is heavier. Heaven saw in you a spirit that would not bend under the weight, a heart strong enough to carry what others could not. This is why you sometimes feel pain that does not belong only to you. When there is tension in your family, you feel it deeper. When there are unspoken wounds, they echo louder in your heart. When generational battles rise, you are the one who senses them most. It is because you are the vessel through which healing is meant to flow. Yes, Libra, the road you walk is not easy. At times it feels unfair that you must bear what others seem free from. But understand this, your path is sacred. You were chosen not to continue what was broken, but to end it. You are the one who will rewrite the story, who will stand where others fell, who will heal what others left wounded. You carry the burden of legacy, not as a punishment, but as a divine trust. Heaven looked at your family line and said, This one can break the chains. This one can close the old doors and open new ones. This one can carry the weight and still rise with grace. That is why you were chosen, Libra. That is why your spirit feels heavier, yet also stronger. Libra, to be chosen is to be set apart, and with that honor comes a price many will never see. When heaven singles you out, it does not only place a crown on your head, it also places a weight on your shoulders. And though the favor of God shines brightly, it also casts shadows that you must learn to walk through. You may have noticed this already in your life. When good things happen for you, not everyone celebrates. When doors open for you, not everyone claps. Some look at you and wonder, why them? Why not me? Others, even within your own home, may quietly struggle to accept why your name carries a light that seems different. And while your siblings or friends may have their own gifts, it is you who feels the sting of being misunderstood, the ache of being quietly set aside. Favor, Libra, is not free. It comes at the cost of comfort. It will often strip you of the easy path. While others rest in the crowd, you will be called to stand apart. While others can blend in without questions, you will find that your very presence raises questions, stirs reactions, and draws both admiration and envy. At times, you may wonder if this is fair. Why does the chosen one often walk alone? Why does the one who carries the most responsibility also feel the most isolation? The truth is, favor was never designed to make life easier. It was designed to equip you for something greater. And preparation for greatness requires endurance. Think of Joseph again. His dreams set him apart, but those same dreams became the reason his brothers rejected him, sold him, and tried to silence his future. Think of David. The same oil that marked him king also brought him years of hiding in caves, running from Saul, and living as though the promise would never come to pass. Even Christ himself carried this cost, beloved by heaven but rejected by many on earth. You, Libra, walk the same road. You may feel the pain of being the sibling who doesn't fully fit in. You may carry wounds from being the one people questioned, doubted, or even distanced themselves from. And yet, those very scars are the proof of your calling. The cost you carry is not wasted. It is part of the shaping process. Favor demands that you grow stronger than the whispers against you. It demands that you rise higher than the doubts around you. It asks you to keep believing even when evidence seems scarce, to keep walking when the road feels endless, to keep standing when every voice says you should fall. And yes, Libra, it requires you to endure rejection, sometimes from strangers, but more painfully from those closest to your heart. You may long for their understanding, for their support, for their validation, but instead you are met with silence, distance, or even criticism. But know this, what feels like rejection from man is often protection from God. Heaven removes voices from your path when they cannot walk where you are going. The cost of favor is heavy because the assignment is heavy. God chose you not because the way would be easy, but because He knew your spirit was strong enough to handle storms others could not survive. He saw in you resilience that could outlast misunderstanding. He saw in you endurance that could outlive rejection. He saw in you a will that even when wounded would still rise again. So when you feel tired from carrying the hidden weight, when you feel the loneliness of walking a road others do not understand, remember this. The weight you feel is proof that heaven trusts you. The crown does not sit on the heads of the untested. It sits on those who have walked through fire and still chosen faith. Libra, do not despise the cost. Embrace it, because every tear you shed in silence, every sacrifice you made without recognition, every moment you endured when you could have walked away, they are not forgotten. They are recorded in heaven's book as proof that you were worthy of the favor placed upon you. The truth is this, you are not chosen because you are perfect. You are chosen because, despite your imperfections, you can carry the weight of God's favor without breaking. And that is why, Libra, heaven's hand has never left you. And now, Libra, let us come to the heart of the matter, the revelation of why you were chosen. God did not single you out to make your siblings feel small. His choice was never about competition. It was about completion. It was about destiny. Heaven placed favor upon you not to elevate you above your family, but to lift your family through you. You were chosen to be a bridge, the one who sees paths that others cannot see, the one who opens doors that others do not even know exist. You were chosen so that when your siblings reach a wall, you can guide them to a gate. When they stumble in darkness, you can carry light. When they feel lost, you can hold direction. Your destiny, Libra, is not rivalry. It is responsibility. It is not to stand as their rival, but as their covering. You were never meant to be the one they compete with. You were meant to be the one who intercedes for them, who shields them in prayer, who becomes a vessel of blessing for the bloodline you share. This is why the oil poured on you. This is why heaven's hand rested so firmly upon your spirit. God knew your shoulders could carry more, and your heart could give more. He knew your voice could calm storms, and your faith could shift mountains. He knew that through you, others would find shelter, healing, and restoration. So understand this, Libra. The favor upon your life is not selfish. It is selfless. It was never about you alone. It was about all those who will be touched, healed, and changed through the light you carry. You are chosen, not just for your journey, but for the journeys connected to you. You are chosen so that through you, your siblings, your family, and even strangers you have never met may one day walk in blessings they could not reach on their own. That is the revelation of your purpose, Libra. You were not chosen to stand above them. You were chosen to stand for them. Libra, now you see it clearly. Being chosen was never about favoritism. It was never about making you greater while making your siblings less. It was about responsibility, about calling, about destiny. God placed a crown upon your head, not a crown of gold for display, but a crown of purpose for service. You were chosen to carry what others could not. You were chosen to be light in the shadows, balance in the storms, and a bridge across broken places. You were chosen to heal wounds that were passed down through generations, to break cycles that seemed unbreakable, and to write a story your family never thought possible. That is the weight of your crown. And yes, there has been pain. Yes, there has been rejection. Yes, there have been lonely nights when you wondered if God made a mistake. But hear this truth: He does not choose lightly. He chose you because heaven knew you could rise where others might fall. You could carry the oil without wasting it. You could endure the cost without surrendering. So when you look back at the misunderstandings, the envy, the isolation, the silent responsibilities, you will see that none of it was wasted. Every struggle was shaping you. Every storm was preparing you. Every tear was watering the soil of your destiny. And now, Libra, you wear the crown of the chosen. Say it one more time in the comments. I am chosen. Let the heavens and the earth agree with your declaration. Speak it boldly, for your words align with your destiny. Walk forward now with your head lifted high. Do not shrink back in doubt. Do not question the path. Embrace the truth. You are chosen, not only for yourself, but for everyone your life will touch. And if this message has spoken to your spirit, if it has opened your eyes and strengthened your heart, then stay connected. Subscribe to this channel because there are more divine messages waiting for you. Messages that will guide you, uplift you, and remind you of who you truly are. Libra, you are chosen. Carry your crown with grace, walk with confidence, and never forget, the eyes of heaven are always on you.